Hey, how's it going? It's Craig. I'm out in the garage and today we're going to do an update on the custom pinball machine build. Haven't done one in ages, lots to catch up on, so let's take a look. Okay, so let's do a quick update on the pinball build. Who's been helping, what I bought, who's not been helping, me. But also just things like the hardware and things I've been going through. I want to keep this as short as I can. I can go into more detail in different areas in the future. So things like the hardware, I'll do a different video on them because they've got quite a few different elements to them, and what I've been going through with those has been hard, to say the least. It's not hard, but it's time consuming, and it's the biggest part of why I've been a bit of a stalling on this. So first of all, let's have a look at parts. So I've mentioned Pinball Days before, Dave, really top guy. He's sold me some parts. He's also gifted me a load of parts in the past. I bought mechanisms off him for flipper mechs, slingshots, the ball trough and other things like that. So Dave, thank you for that. Also pick holder Phil, went to see him in Birmingham. Pick holder was the guy in my previous videos I mentioned telling me to not run before I can walk. I totally appreciate where he's coming from on that. I am at the point now where I think I've got over the hurdles that I needed to get past on the hardware side of things, so hopefully from here on in I'll be moving quite quickly on this. Still a lot of programming and things to do, but I'm hoping that once I get this connected and working, that should be easy enough to progress. Not at a pace, it's still going to take me a while, but at least I've got some progress on it now. Phil gifted me this back box. It was a bit broken up and things. I've had to put a new piece of ply in there and a couple of things in there. I'm obviously going to strip it all down and put new graphics on that. And again, gifted me this Playfield from Dyna. That was probably one of the biggest progressions in doing my Playfield that I needed. Just seeing and being able to measure the widths of the lanes and a couple of different things on there, even just the cutouts at the bottom for where the Playfield drops into the cabinet, that was really useful to have. I've got some plans for that in the future. I'm going to put some lights and things behind it and maybe wall mounted or ceiling mounted. Alan J had them in his pinball room when I seen him, so I'm going to pinch his idea for that. Yeah, that was really useful. Phil gave me a load of stuff. Really nice to catch up with him. He's got a couple of builds and things he's on, really knowledgeable, works on a lot of music equipment, but also doing a build of his own or a retheme of his own in the future as well. And I know he's bought quite a few things himself, so really grateful to Phil for the things that he's gifted me too. What else has there been going on? OPP, not naughty by nature, other people's property, but down to this type of system. I think I'm the only person on YouTube that is going to show you a PCB that is actually from PCBWay. And I'm not going to go into a spiel about how I'm sponsored by them, because they did provide these free of charge, but under no pressure to obviously talk about them in any positive or negative way, but they've been absolutely amazing. I hope to use PCBWay in the future and maybe do a sponsorship on them, because I think if you're relevant to what you're doing, why not do a sponsorship and work with a provider? I see a lot of people do PCBWay sponsorships and they have nothing to do with PCBs, which kind of annoys me a little bit. But OPP is the system that I'm using, so you get the files off of the creator Hugh. Hugh has been absolutely amazing in helping me develop this system and develop these hardware boards. You get the files off their website. There's an OPP website, but there's also info on pinball makers, so I'll link to both of those down below. You get them sent off to PCBWay or another pinball PCB printer, and they print them up for you. I put my logo on the back just because I'm a bit cheesy like that, and I thought it'd be quite cool. So you get them empty boards. I bought all the parts then, all of these connectors and the regulators and all the resistors and everything else. I bought all them from different places such as RS, Mouser and AliExpress. These PCB, the little blue pill boards, processor boards, I bought from AliExpress. Then what you've got to do then is program them, and I'll go, as I said, I'll go into more detail in another video, but that was a bit of a nightmare. That's one of the ones where I had a bit of a delay in getting everything done. But I'm across that hurdle now. I've got this one, I've got another one here, I've got one in the machine, I've got more built, I've got more PCBs set up now than I think I'll need for maybe 2 or 3 machines. So that's all good. Moving on with OPP and getting that system out of the way. Not out of the way because it's really useful. I could have gone a commercial way. There's systems like Cobra, Fast, there's others, but basically they're all on pinball makers. They'll tell you about all the different hardware systems and what you can do with them. But open pinball projects is obviously the lowest cost. It's a bit more DIY, you've got to build everything yourself, but if you want a commercial version, you can go and buy one and get moving a lot quicker than I've been able to on this. So that's the OPP side of things. I've also bought a Orange Pi, so not a Raspberry Pi, an Orange Pi. Higher quality, higher processor speed, higher RAM than the Raspberry Pis that are out at the moment, and they're readily available. A little bit annoying because obviously I'd like to support Raspberry Pi because they're a Welsh company, not just down the road from me, but the systems just weren't doing what I needed it to for this project. So I've followed the guys who were building the Cuphead pinball machine. They were using a PC first of all, and they moved across to an Orange Pi. I bought an Orange Pi. It's a 16GB RAM version, really high spec, and it's a single board computer, so it'll fit nicely in here along with everything else. So yeah, really looking forward to using that. I started doing the Mission Pinball framework software programming on there. That's really cool. It's technical again, it's another learning curve, so I think what I've got to do now is figure a way of connecting this to the Orange Pi and getting the two to talk to each other properly. Once I've done that, then I can start configuring modes and everything else. That's way down the line. I've got to figure out exactly what my playfield's going to do and look like first of all. So what it does and what it looks like, I've had a couple of ideas. As I've been away working quite a lot, so I've been able to take my laptop with me. I didn't want to stop the project entirely, so I've been working on some graphics and things. I know it's a bit early to do that, but these are all Photoshop graphics. I think eventually when I get to the final version, I'll probably get an illustrator, somebody that can hand illustrate this, airbrush, do some really cool graphics for me, and get it done either straight onto the board or straight onto the silk screen onto the playfield and get it all printed really nicely. For now, I've just done some graphics on the laptop just to give me some ideas of what I want, some of the modes I want. So I'll show them on the screen now just so you can have a look at those. As I said, it's early days. I don't even know what shots I'm going to have on this, so how many lanes and what different directions I'm going to have, any ramps and things. I've got to figure that out, but to figure that out I've got to obviously get this thing flipping. I've got a couple of ideas in my head, so next thing for me to do is literally test this thing. I've got it flipping. I'll show you some of the progress videos that where I've blown things up. I had a nose operation a few months back, and I was out here occasionally when I could breathe and do things. I spent an hour out here and I was building things on a scrap piece of wood, pressing buttons and things, and working back and forth with the creator of OPP to get my settings right and things. And I blew up a couple of things, stupidness of myself, something I dropped and something I pressed and held the button too long, and I blew one of these out. And yeah, there's just a couple of things that learning along the way. Whoa, and we got smoke again. Our filter board. So there have been a couple of disasters like that. The biggest one being is I got it all plugged into my playfield, and this was the point where I was almost ready to quit and get over this. I took ages programming these things. I figured it out and I can do it quite quickly, but I took ages getting it sorted. Got it all done, got it all flipping on that piece of wood down here, transferred that across to my playfield, which is in the cabinet behind me. I'll show you that in a second. The playfield was up, power goes into the top of this board as a USB micro USB connector. Power was in there. I lowered the playfield down, snapped that off entirely. There was no way of getting it back to the traces. There was no way of repairing it or fixing it at all. So that meant I had to program a whole new thing, but also transfer everything off this board onto another one and do all that again. I think I've snapped the micro USB connector on my STM board, which means either repairing it or stripping that STM board off and using a new one for this and programming it and everything. This is a pain in the ass. Absolute nightmare. That was the point where I think I took a deep breath, walked away, and took a week or two away from this machine because I was really ready to give up at that point. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I'm at a position now where the machine is running, as in it powers on. That's pretty much it. It powers on. I can press a button and it will flip the flippers, but I'm going to keep that for another video because I've not put a ball or anything on this yet. I've not even flipped the flipper when the playfield is down. So it's all going to be new. I'm going to capture it on camera. I'm going to put a ball on there. There's not much on the playfield at all at the moment. Some cardboard that I've cut out. So let's go through that on a separate video. This one was just to give you a bit of an update of where I am, what we're doing, and to promise you that I'm not giving up on this. I am persistent on this. I will get it done. It will be done in my own time. I'm not putting deadlines to this. I've got some time off coming up soon. I've got some more time when I'm going traveling with work. So there will be a mix. If I've got some time off physically in here, I'll do some more progress on it. If I'm traveling with work, I'll do some more progress on the graphics and things. So yeah, quick update on where we are, what we've been doing. I'll show you quickly the cabinet before we wrap up, and then I'll catch you on the next video when we get a ball on there and give it a go. Cool, catch you on the next one.